Hey guys, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to continue Foundation 2023, Paper 1. Question 8. Carla wraps some parcels with ribbon. She wraps two large parcels and three small parcels. So two large and three small. For each large parcel, Carla uses 185 centimeters of ribbon. For each small parcel, she uses p centimeters of ribbon. So for each one of them, okay? In total, Carla uses exactly 7 meters of ribbon to wrap the parcels. Find the value of P. Okay, so exactly she uses 7 meters, and Carla wraps two large and three small. Let's call them 2L and 3S. Okay, now for the large ones, so 2L, she uses 185 centimeters, and this one is 7 meters. So first, let's turn this to centimeters by multiplying by 100 to make all the units the same. So it's going to be 700 centimeters by multiplying by 100. So she uses in total 700 centimeters. Now for the large parcels, she uses 185 for each one of them, and they are two. So we have 2L, 2L. Okay, she uses 185, so they are two. So we multiply 185 by 2, 185 by 2. We will know how much she uses for the two large ones. So here, 185 multiplied by 2 is going to be 370 centimeters. So for the large ones, she uses 370 centimeters. For the small ones, there are 3, and she uses p centimeters. So she uses 3p. We understand that it's 3p now. For the small ones, 3p, because we don't know exactly how much is it. Now, in total, she uses 7 meters, which is 700 centimeters. So it means 370 plus 3p will equal 700 centimeters. Let's do it here. So 370, the first two large ones, plus 3p will equal 700 centimeters. Now we take the 370 to the other side. So 3p will equal 700 minus 370. Okay. And then the 3p will equal 700 minus 370. 700 minus 370 will give me 330. Now, by dividing by 3, both sides, divide this by 3 and divide this by 3, or take 3 to the other side by dividing, same step, same idea. This 3 will go with this 3, and 330 divide 3, so P will equal 330 divide 3 will equal what? Very good. 110. Yes, 110. Right? Divide 3 is going to be 100. So P equals 110 centimeters, and this is the length of P that he uses. So you have to focus on the idea of making the units the same. That's the first thing. And then the idea of turning each one of them into 2 by multiplying by 2, and then adding these will give me 700, and then working out this equation to find the value of P. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 9 is a number machine. This is the input. You multiply by 10, you add 6 to the answer, and then you find the output. Work out the output when the input is 14. That means we put 14 here. We multiplied by 10, it's going to be 140. And then we add 6, it's going to be 146. That's the idea. So the machine works like this. You take the number, put it inside, do this calculation, and then go inside, do the other calculation, and then get the answer outside. So 146. Now let's move on to the next one. Here's a different number machine. We put an input, we multiply by something, and then we add 9, and we will get the output. When the input is 11, the output is 64. Write a number on the dotted line to complete the number machine. Now, let's take a look. If this one is 11, that's the question, okay? If this one is 11, what is the number that we multiply by and then we add 9 to get 64? So the output is 64. Now, how do we do this? We can go the opposite way. And going the opposite way is what? We take the 64, we go the opposite way, and we do the opposite of this operation. So 64 minus 9, like this. So I'm going to say 64 minus 9, because I'm doing the opposite of this operation. Same idea, I'm going to do the opposite of this one to get here. So 64 minus 9, I will get 55. Now 55, divide what? Because this is multiplying. As I said, I'm going to do the opposite. So divide what to get 11? Very good. It's divide 5. So here, we're going to put 5. It means the answer is 5. Now we're going to check. 11 times 5 is going to be 55. 55 plus 9 is 64. And this is how you answer a question like this. It means you can go the opposite way to find out what is the answer for this question. Now let's move on to the next question. Here. There are 30 counters in a bag. Let's put the question here on top. Okay. There are 30 counters in the bag. 13 of the counters are purple. 11 of the counters are white. The rest of the counters are red. Soha takes at random a counter from the bag. Write down the probability that the counter is purple. So here, the purple ones are 13. Purple ones are 13. And all of them are 30. So the probability of taking a purple will be 13 over 30. So it's going to be 13 over 30 as a fraction. If you can simplify it, you have to simplify it, okay? Can't, it's okay. Leave it like this. So the first question, the probability of purple is 13 over 30. Question B, work out the probability that the counter is red. Now, the numbers of red, we don't know them. It means we're going to add these together and then subtract them from 30. So we're going to say 30 minus these added together like this, 13 and 11. So first, 30 minus 13 plus 11. And the answer is 6. It means we have 6 red counters. So the answer is 6. Now to find the probability, it means we're going to put 6 over the total, which is 30. So the total is 30. So 6 over 30. And this is how you answer a question like this. So you have to focus when you answer questions about probability, because numbers might deceive you, and you might think of an answer which is not the right answer. So focus on the steps, okay? Now, we finished the probability here and here. Now let's move on to the next question. Here. The counter is put back into the bag. Now this one, they're talking about this counter. Work out probability of counter is red, okay? The counter is put back into the bag. Clive now puts 10 more counters into the bag. So all of them are 30. Focus on this, okay? All of them are 30. And he puts 10 more to make them 40. When a counter is taken at random from the bag, the probability that it is white is now 2 over 5. How many of the 10 counters that Clive puts into the bag are white? Now, we didn't have white at the beginning. We only have 30, and all of them. Oh, we already had white, so it's 11 here. Yeah, we had purple, white, and red. And they added 10 more. They added 10 more. So let's focus on the numbers. Let's write them here so we don't forget them. So all of them are 30. 13 are purple. Let's write P. 11 white. And 6 red. Okay. Now let's go down to the question. because this is very important. As we said, he puts 10 more counters into the bag to make these 40. So the probability will be over 40. So the fraction will be over 40. Now, we need to know how many of the 10 he puts will be white. Now, we already know that the white is 11. So the probability of white, let me remove it like this. The probability of white was 11 over 30. And I want to make it 2 over 5 now. I want to make it 2 over 5. To make it 2 over 5, first, how do we make this 2 over 5? 2 over 5. So how did the 5 become 30? Very good, by multiplying by 6. So let's see. But we're adding 10. Yes, we're adding 10. So 5 times, this is 30. It was 11 over 30. We need it to become 2 over 5. Now, the total number, okay, the total number of counters will be 40. So how does the 5 become 40? Yes, the 5 becomes 40 by multiplying by 8. So this one will be multiplied by 8 to make it 40. Because when we add 10 more, it's going to be 40. So this one is going to be 8. So it's going to be 40 here. And because we multiplied this by 8, even this one should be multiplied by 8. And it will give 16. So the probability of white will become 16 over 40. So we will have 16 white counters out of 40. Okay, let's make it that fraction. And we already have 11. Now we subtract 16 minus 11. So 16 minus 11. And by that, we will know that he has to add 5 more counters. So how many counters of the 10 counters has to be white? He needs to add 5 counters to make the probability 2 over 5. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's see. I like probability questions because they make you think and try to answer or solve the problem. Now let's take a look at question 11. Pablo buys some tickets to go to the theater. 3 of the tickets are for adults. The remaining tickets are for children. So he buys some tickets, 3 of them for adults. The remaining are for children. Each adult ticket costs 12 euros. The children's ticket each costs 30% less than an adult ticket. The total amount of money that Paulo pays for all the tickets is 94.80 euros. Find the number of children's tickets Pablo buys. Okay. So 3 of the tickets are for adults, so 3A. It means he buys 3A or 3 adults tickets. Each adult ticket is 12. So we know he buys 3 adults tickets, and each of these adult tickets costs 12. It means he's going to buy 3, so we multiply it by 12. So it means we have 36 euros just for the adult tickets. Okay. Yes, these are the adult tickets and how much they cost. Okay. Now the children's tickets each cost 30% less. So the children's tickets each cost 30% less than an adult ticket. So let's find out how much money does it cost. So we're going to take the 30%. We're going to find the multiplier, the decrease multiplier of the 30% decrease, and then multiply it by the 12 euros. How do we find the multiplier? First, we find the percentage, which is 30 over 100. Now, after finding the percentage by dividing, like this, so 30 over 100, it's going to be 0.3. Now, 0.3 is the percentage. Now, because it's 30% decrease, we're going to subtract it from 1. So 1 minus 0.3 equals 0.7. So 0.7 is the multiplier of 30% decrease. Now I'm going to take the multiplier multiplied by the original, which is 12. So 12 times 0.7 which is the multiplier of 30% decrease. It means if you multiply with it, it will help you find how much money you'll get. So 12 times 0.7, and the answer is 8.4. So the answer is 8.4. So each children ticket will cost 8.4. Now I know the cost of one children ticket. Now I will find out how much money is left and divide it by the cost of the children's ticket to know how many children he or how many children's ticket he took. So I'm gonna subtract these. So 94.80 minus 36 euros to find out how much money is left for the children's tickets. So 94.80 minus 36. And the answer is 58.8. 58.8 euros. Now, I'm going to take the 58.8 euros divided by 8.4 because each one of them costs 8.4. So 58.8 divide 8.4. And I will know how many tickets they took. So 58.8 divide 8.4. And now I know that they took 7 children's tickets. And this is how you answer a question like this. So 7 tickets. From the beginning, this or these kind of questions are a little bit tricky because they are like a riddle, and you're trying to find out what's going on by trying to solve each problem alone. So as I said, 3 adults tickets, and the adults tickets, each one of them costs 12 euros. So all of them cost 36 euros. And he paid this amount of money for all of the tickets. And then I subtracted these to find out what is the cost of the children's tickets. So they cost 58.8 euros. Now, using the information that each children ticket is 30% less, I took the 30%, subtracted from 1 to find the multiplier of 30%, and then multiplied by 12 to find out it's 8.4, and then divided the total cost of the tickets on the cost of one ticket to find out that he took 7 or bought 7 tickets. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now let's move on to the next question. Here, question 12. Pam plays netball for her school team. Here are the numbers of goals she scored in the last 8 games. The numbers of goals are written in order of size: 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 6, X, and 14. Okay, so we already know that there are 8 games. Find the range of the number of goals Pam scored. The range means what? They're already ordered in size, so they told you that about that. So the range means the highest number minus the smallest number, which is 14 minus 1. So the answer will be 14 minus 1 equals 13. This is the range of data that we have. Find the median number of goals Pam scored. The median means the number in the middle. Now the data here is what? Is 8. All of them are 8. And we take the 8 to find the median. Put it here. Find the median, we take the 8, add 1 to it, and then divide it equals 9, and then divide it by 2 equals 4.5. This means what? It means the data is between 4 and 5 because it's 4.5. So it's between 4 and 5. So it means we take these two numbers, add them together, and then divide them by 2. So we're going to take the 2 and the 3, add them, we get 5. And then take the 5 divided by 2, we will get 2.5. So the median number is 2.5 goals. And this is how you find the range and the median for this question. Now, let's move on to the next question. Okay, let's go down. The mean number of goals Pam scored in the 8 games is 5. Work out the value of x. Now we know the mean number is 5. We want to find x. How do we connect these information together? Okay. Now this one is already ordered in size, so we need to find x. Okay. First thing we do, yes, we know that the mean means what? It means you add all of these data and then you divide them by the count, which is 8. It means we're going to add all of these. I'm answering question C, of course. So we're going to add 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 plus x plus 14. And then when you divide them by their count, which is 8, they're supposed to give you the mean, which is 5. Okay, let me go down and check. Yes, the mean is 5. Yes. Now I'm going to use this information to find the value of x. I'll put this on a fraction line. Now, when I add all of these numbers together, so 14 plus 6 is going to be 20, 23, 25, 27, 28, 29. So these are 29. Yes, these are 29. So let's put it here. Again, 20, 25, 29. Yes. So it's going to be 29. Let's put it here. Here. So x plus 29 over 8 will equal to 5. Equal to 5. We're trying to find the value of x. Remember that. Now, I'm going to take the 8 by multiplying to the other side. Because it's divided, I'm going to take it by multiplying. So I will end up with x plus 29 equals 8 times 5, which is 40. Now I'm going to take the 29 to the other side. Because it's added, I'm going to take it by subtraction. So x equals 40 minus 29. And then at the end, I subtract these numbers, and the answer x equals 11. And this is how you find the value of x using the mean value. Now let's move on to the next question. Here, we did this. Question 13. The diagram shows a rectangle and an isosceles triangle. We have a rectangle and isosceles triangle. The perimeter of the rectangle is equal to the perimeter of the triangle. So the perimeters are equal. Find the area of the rectangle. So we already know that the perimeters are equal. Let's take a look. First, we find the rest of the triangle, and we find the perimeter, and then we find the perimeter of this side. And then we find the area of the rectangle. So if this one is 8, it means this one is 8. Now, this one is 5. Same idea with this. It's 5. Now, let's find the perimeter of the triangle. The perimeter of the triangle is 12 plus 8 plus 8. So 12 plus 8 is 20. 20 plus 8 is 28. So the perimeter equals 28. Now, same idea, the perimeter of the rectangle is the same because they already told you that. Now here we have 5. We subtract 5 and 5 from 28. So 28 minus 10, which is 5 and 5, will equal to 18. So 28 minus 10 is 18. 18 means this line and this line together. It means you have to divide it by 2, and the answer is 9. So it means that this one is 9, and this one is 9. Now, you already got the numbers of the sides of the rectangle. Now you can find the area of the rectangle by multiplying or using the formula of the rectangle. So the area of the rectangle, area, equals what? Very good. Equals width times length. Width times length. The width of the rectangle is what? Very good. We have 9 and 5. So it's going to be 5 times 9. And the answer is 45. And because it's area, so it's going to be centimeters squared. Focus on the steps. Focus on the way that we found the sides of the rectangle. We found the perimeter of the triangle first, and then we used the perimeter to find the sides of the rectangle. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to the next question. The diagram shows a cuboid. The volume of the cuboid is 231 centimeters cubed. Calculate the value of W. This is the W, which is the width. We have the length, we have the height. Now, the volume of the rectangle equals what? Let's write it here. Volume equals width times length times height. This is the formula of the volume of the rectangle. We're going to use this formula, find the value of W. We already know what's the volume, so we're going to use the numbers here. So the volume 231 equals width, we don't know it, multiplied by the length, which is 7, multiplied by the height, which is 6. Now we continue with the answer. So 231 equals W multiplied by 7 multiplied by 6. So we multiply 7 and 6. 7 times 6 is 42. So 42 W, like this. Now we need the W alone. It means we're going to take the 42 to the other side. The 42 is multiplied. It means we're going to take it by dividing. So we're going to take it here by dividing. So W equals, let's write it here, 231 divide 42. Now, I'm going to do this with the calculator. 231 divide 42. And the answer is 5.5 centimeters. And this is how you find the length of W. From the beginning, we used the formula of the volume. We put the numbers in their places. And then we use algebraic movements so we can find the value of W. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to the next question. Question 14. Work out the value of this. Give your answer as a decimal. Write down all the figures on your calculator display. Here, you can use the calculator. You just have to write all the numbers like you see them on the paper. So you make a fraction, you put 9 over 12.4, and then you go out of the fraction using the arrows. You make another fraction after the positive. Yes. So 9 over 12, as we said, 12.4. You go out of the fraction, you put plus, make another fraction. We have 5.3 on the numerator times 2.8. You go down, you write 9.64. Now you write the total number that you have in your calculator, which is, let me write it here. You don't have to write any steps here. They just want you to use the calculator. So 2.26522255385. And this is the total number that I got in my calculator. Now let's move on to the next question. Here. In question B, they asked me to write my answer to correct to 3 significant figures. It means I need 3 significant figures only. Significant figures means what? It means the first 3 numbers, and I can't start with zeros, but I can start with other numbers. So 1, 2, 3. Now I look at the number outside of this rectangle. It's a 5. The 5 is big, so it's going to add 1 to the 6 in front of it. So the final answer will be 2.27. And this is how you write numbers correctly, 3 significant figures. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 15. This is the universal set. And this one, universal set is from 5 to 20. A is odd numbers and B is multiples of 5. Complete the Venn diagram for this information. So we're going to put them in Venn diagram. Let's zoom out so we can use the numbers. Okay, we already have them now. First, let's take a look at this. Odd numbers from these numbers. So let's write them here. We use the sets brackets. We write odd numbers. We have 5, wait, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. These are the odd numbers. Now we're going to write multiples of 5 here. So we're going to use sets brackets. Multiples of 5 we have 5, and then we have 10, 15, and 20. These are multiples of 5. Now, after writing these sets, we're going to find out what's common between set A and set B and write it in the middle here. So first, let's take a look at the numbers. We have 5s. We have the common ones. We have the 5s. We have, um, yes, we don't have 10s, no. We have 5s. We have 15. Yes, 5 and 15. And because we took these, it means we're going to remove them from here. But let's do this as the last step, okay? So 5 and 15. We're going to write them in the middle in the common section here, 5 and 15. Now we're going to take a look at set A. The numbers that we didn't write, we're going to put them in A. So let's put them here. We have 7, 9, 11, 13, 17, and 19. These are the numbers that we didn't write, so we wrote them in set A. Now, set B, we left 10 and 20, so we put them here, 10 and 20. Now, we take a look at the universal set. The numbers that we wrote, we're going to put a line on them, and we're not going to use them. The numbers we didn't write, we're going to use, okay? So we wrote the 5. We didn't use the 6. We used the 7. We didn't use the 8. We used the 9. We used the 10. We used the 11. We didn't use the 12. We used 13. We didn't use 14. We used 15. We didn't use 16. We used 17. We didn't use 18. We used 19 and 20. So these are the numbers that we used. Now we're going to write the numbers that we didn't use in the universal set. So we come here, we write them here outside. Let's do them number by number. So 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, and 18. And by that, we finished all the numbers and Venn diagram. And this is how you answer a question like this. Focus on the sets, focus on the common numbers, so you can put them in the intersection area, and focus on the numbers inside the universal set, okay? Now, let's move on to the next question. Question 16. Last season, the number of goals scored by Arjun, by Simon, and by Kat for the football team were in the ratios 2, 5, and 8. So in this order, ASK. Simon scored 12 more goals than Arjun. Work out the number of goals scored by Kat. So I'm going to put this information here. So let's put the letters first. We have A, S, and K. The ratio is 2 to 5 and 8. So these are the ratios, 2 to 5 to 8. We know that Simon scored 12 more goals than Arjun. Work out the number of goals scored by Kat. Okay. So let's put it here. Yes, let's use them as ratios. Now, Simon scored 12 more goals than Arjun. So Simon has 12 more goals than Arjun, and the ratio here is 5 and here's 2. So when I subtract the ratios, so Simon is 5 minus 2 equals 3. So these three ratios are the 12 more goals. It means I can use the difference in ratio between them, which is the 12 more goals. So I'm going to divide the 12 by the 3, and it will give me 4. This means I found out the number that I can use to find all the goals scored by these people. So again, because we already know that the ratio difference here is 3, and this ratio difference, which is 3, equals 12 goals. Now I'm going to divide the 12 by 3 to find the number that we use to multiply by ratios. Now I'm going to multiply the 4 because we need to work out the number of goals scored by Cat only. We don't need the other guys. So I'm going to multiply the 4 by the 8, and it will give me 32. And this is how you answer a question like this. So 4 times 8 will be 32 goals. Now, focus on the idea of finding these numbers because ratios questions sometimes they become tricky. Now, let's move on to the next question. Here, question 17. The table gives information about the number of minutes that Abby spent walking each day in September. These are the classes and these are the frequencies. Work out an estimate for the total number of minutes that Abby spent walking in September. This it's the only question for this question. Okay. So, as we said, this is the information about the number of minutes that Abby spent walking each day in September. So she walked each day in September. Work out an estimate for the total number of minutes that Abby spent walking in September. So this means an estimate for what? The mean. An estimate for the mean. So we're gonna try to find the mean and not the mean because they didn't ask us for the mean. We're gonna try to find an estimate for the minutes or for the minutes that she walked the whole time in September. So here I'm gonna do it that way, okay? First, now and this one is not the mean. They told you to find the total number of minutes walked, okay? Now you're gonna follow the same steps that you do with the mean by finding the midpoint. So let's find the midpoint here. So 0 and 30, when you add them and divide them by 2, you will get 15. And then you multiply it by the frequency. So multiply 15 here. Here, same idea, 30 plus 60 is 90. 90 divide 2 is going to be 45. So you multiply by 45. Here, 60 plus 90 is 150. 150 divide 2 is 75. So you multiply by 75. So find the midpoint for each one of them and then multiply it by the frequency. 90 plus 120 is 210. Divide 2 is going to be 105. So multiply by 105. And the last one, we have 120 and 150. When you add them, you have 270. Divide 2 is going to be 135. So you multiply by 135. So the idea here, I'm following the same steps that I do with the mean. Now I'm going to multiply these. 5 times 15 is going to be 75. And then 6 times 45. 6 times 45, 30, 24, 25, 26, 27. So 27 and 0, yes. And then here we have 8 times 75. 8 times 75, 40. And then here, yes, we have 4. So 600, yes, 600. And then 9 times 105. 9 times 105, 9 and 5, 45. So 945, 945, yes. And the last one, 2 times 135, it will get me back to the 270 that I got from the beginning, okay? So equals 270. Now, these are the numbers of minutes by the frequencies. It means when we add them together, I'll get the total number of minutes that she walked or spent walking in September. So I'm going to add all of these together to get the answer that I want. So this one here, let's add them. So 75 plus 270 plus 600 plus 945 plus 270, I will get 2,160. So 2,160 minutes of walking. And this is how you answer a question like this. They didn't ask us for the mean, so we can't finish the rest of the idea. We only found the total number of minutes that Abby spent walking in September. And this is how you answer a question like this. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.